it's live on mine.
And there we go.
Action.
Action.
We're back again. Carrie and Bobby.
Carrie and Bobby.
Hey, Bobby, how you doing?
I'm doing awesome. How are you doing, Carrie?
Good. It's good to be back on the show again after a long weekend. I hope all of you had an awesome weekend and are excited about this new week.
Yes.
And we've got some great information to pass along today.
Great information about speakers, and speaking up and giving your message. And we're talking about a great speaker today.
Great speaker. Somebody that I think for the most part, almost everybody knows who he is just because of his name.
Yes.
They may have never heard him before, but they always recognize the name. It's one of those things. And his name is Hillary Hinton.
Yes, Hillary Hinton. Everybody knows who Hillary Hinton
Hillary
is.
Hinton.
He's a great guy, a well-renowned speaker.
Yes. And he was fantastic. He's passed away in 2012. But Hillary Hinton, his last name
go ahead.
is Ziglar.
Oh, yes.
So he went by Zig Ziglar. And if you had a name like Hillary Hinton, you might probably change your name to Zig. I don't know. That's how I would do it.
Yeah.
But what a great guy. I've seen Zig probably 3 times live.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, I've listened to numerous tapes back then.
Wow.
And read a few books. Great speaker, wonderful individual, and we lost a good one when he passed away. But he was born in a place called Coffee County, Alabama. So, and he was number 10 of 12 kids.
Yeah.
So he was towards the end of the litter, but 12 kids.
12 kids.
And look what he accomplished. Out of Coffee County, Alabama, 12 kids, and he took things off like crazy. So he actually worked as a salesperson for many different companies, kind of like myself. A lot of people who sell, then they become sales trainers or whatever, which is what I did. And he then exploded his business into a full training and speaking program. Yeah. So pretty amazing person. Let's just see. He fell down a flight of stairs that left him with short-term memory problems.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah. So maybe he didn't. Well, I guess Hillary Hinton would have been long-term memory. So I was going to say maybe he didn't remember his name.
Yeah.
But he still traveled around, doing all kinds of motivational speaking, of course, all across the country, and got married in 1944 to his wife Jean. So Jean and Zig, and he was only 17 when he married his then 16-year-old bride.
Wow. So
she was only 16.
Wow.
And they had 4 children, and like I mentioned, he died in 2012.
Yep.
But amazing person. You have a little bit of background on Zig as well.
I love Zig Ziglar. It's just so powerful. One of the coolest things in what we're going to talk about today is the fact that everybody knows that Zig Ziglar is a powerful speaker, that he spoke to thousands and thousands of people.
Yeah.
But one of the things Zig said, he taught 3,000 times. He spoke in front of 3,000 people before he ever made a dime doing it.
Yeah.
Before he ever made a dime as a speaker.
Yeah.
He said, I would drive out of my way to go places. I would do lots and lots of things to hone my craft, to learn how to do this well. So you don't just get up one day and go, okay, I'm going to be this well-renowned speaker. I'm good now. I've made the choice. I'm determined, and I'm going to do it. And then a couple days from there, you're speaking in front of thousands of people. It just doesn't work that way.
It doesn't work that way. I think you do get up one day and say, you know what, I'm going to be a speaker. Or maybe it happens over a long period of time and you decide that. But
I want to be a teacher. I want to teach people. I have something inside me. I know I love the satisfaction. And I've owned a few training companies and stuff. And back in the 90s, I had a company where we taught senior citizens how to use computers.
Okay.
And that's when I really had this aha moment of how much I loved seeing the light go
Yeah.
off in this 80-year-old grandma that could now email her grandkids, and she's so excited about it. And I felt so fulfilled, and like, I gotta teach people. I love this. Went all over the country teaching, and just it's so powerful to be able to give your message and get it and receive it from other people. So
Yeah.
Zig, thank you. But you don't do it overnight. It's not
No.
something you just start doing and
like,
getting in front of
it's
thousands
like
of people.
anything, when you're doing anything, it takes practice. And Zig was a very powerful speaker. He was, when I've heard him speak, he was very humble. He's a very, like you mentioned before, a down to earth type of individual.
Oh yeah.
But so powerful in what he did, and he was polished. He was good. He got your attention.
Mm-hmm.
He spoke in front of, I'm sure, millions of people. By the time he passed away, I'm sure it was millions of people.
Oh yeah.
But it takes time, and so speaking in front of 3,000 events. I don't know how many people that would have represented, but 3,000 events before he actually started getting paid. That's what we call paying your dues.
Paying your dues.
Okay.
And we all get to do it.
Yeah.
We all get to pay our dues.
It may not be 3,000 events,
Right.
but you're going to be speaking in front of somebody for free, just even if it's your spouse, just to be able to say, hey, or your kids maybe, just saying, hey, I need to practice this and practice
I need
it.
to get this.
Now, sometimes
Volunteer to get out there
Yeah.
and just go speak wherever, whenever, however.
occasionally you run into somebody that is an overnight success because they had a great story, the message was there, but
Or their overnight success took about 10, 13 years.
yeah. For some people that is overnight. Huh?
Exactly.
But I think again, that's a pretty rare thing that happens that way.
It's kind of like winning the lottery.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
And very few people win it and win it big.
Yes. Yeah.
But
it takes work. Even Zig was a huge proponent of, hey, life. He would tell you, hey, life is hard. You actually have to work at this thing to make it work. And he was a big proponent of work. You get out there and do. People don't become great because they half-weighed things.
Yeah.
There aren't great athletes in the world because they came up and they go play the game. No, they practice constantly and constantly and constantly. It's work.
Yeah.
To become great takes work.
It does. It takes a lot of work. And so there's a lot of people, and this isn't any thing to be rude for those that are out there listening. There are a lot of people.
Oh, you're going to be rude, I can tell.
That are. was that a nice?
That was a
segue
foreshadowing.
into
That was
saying I'm gonna
foreshadowing.
be rude? But there are a lot of people that say they're speakers and they're trainers, and they really haven't had. It's not that you have a desire for it. Yes.
Yeah. You feel it inside. There's
Yeah.
a message inside you, and you feel it's a calling. You've been given this calling to become a speaker
Yeah.
and a trainer, but you don't have a clue how to make an impact.
Yeah, and it's not that you don't have that passion, but you just don't know how to do it yet.
Yeah.
And so, yes, you can put your stake in the ground and say I'm a speaker, but you still have a long ways to go before you can get to that level where you're in front of people. I mean, there are people that say they're speakers that honestly can't get in front of a group of people and speak.
Yeah.
So if you're going to speak, then you need to be out speaking.
Yep.
If you're going to be an author, you need to write. So if you're going to speak, you've got to be out speaking, and it doesn't mean
just like a football player, just like a basketball player, just like anybody, an accountant. Those people study, they work hard to do and be where they are. You don't just magically become a success. You got to work at it. And the dynamic speaker that Zig Ziglar was, I will guarantee you, he was not that overnight.
No. Well, obviously, if he went 3,000 times before he ever got paid. And I hope that we don't go 3,000 times, but I still think you're going to have to do a lot of stuff.
You got to get, and you'll get better.
And even if you get paid for some, there's always that learning process that you're going to go through to get better and better and better. Again, we talk about Disney a lot, and he always talks about plussing and making sure that you're improving all the time. So Zig was, I know, somebody who always continually learned and grew, and that's how you become that dynamic. The same way with you. So if you're wanting to speak, you've got to practice. You've got to be in front of people, which we have a great program called The Message, which you can actually be in front of people and have judges helping
judging
you.
Yeah,
Yeah.
helping you. Yeah,
And-
judging sounds so harsh, but
Yeah.
it is helping.
It is.
If you're open to listening to the critique, we talk about some of the shows out there where people are pretty harsh and they say, you need to go back, you can't sing or whatever. But,
Yeah.
but if you listen and you take the time, you can become better and learn something. It's not just about saying that you stink.
Right.
It's about, hey, you could maybe go back and now learn something, make your message much more of an impact.
Yeah, and I honestly think this is a great opportunity. So, just a real quick plug. So, this
Yep.
Thursday,
This Thursday,
This
which
Thursday,
is
the
2nd of February 2017.
we're going to kick this thing off, called The Message.
The message.
Now, we may not have a whole lot of people show up in the first one as it starts to build.
Yeah, this is beta.
But you're going to get an opportunity if you
have a
feel
message,
like it.
you have a message. Anybody out there in social media land, if you have a message and you want to get it out there, we are going to meet every month. And we're going to get you in front of some judges, and the show is going to start to catch on and be powerful, impactful. We want your message. We want your heart, whatever you are doing to move, to connect, to get your message out there.
Yeah.
We want to be a part of it.
Yeah, so come out and join us. If you want more details, it's on Facebook. You can go to the SpeakUp Professional Speakers Studio Facebook page, and there'll be some stuff there about
And I think there's an event page for the message, isn't there?
Yeah,
there is an event page.
So would love to see people come out and practice that. This would give you a chance to practice in front of people so you can be better and better. So you can start to pay your dues,
Right.
as many of us have. Now, I still feel like I still have plenty of dues to pay.
Oh, yeah. Still
You
got
know?
tons to learn.
Yeah.
I still can make more of an impact. Absolutely.
Yeah, but I think all of us, are in that process. But some of us are further down the road than some of you listening right now, and others of you listening might be further down the road than us, and that's
Absolutely.
okay. We are always in that process of growing and getting better and better. So
Yes.
So pay your dues. Now that's something that people talk about, and it's kind of a negative phrase or whatever. You have to pay your dues. Why do I have? In this day and age, we want things instant. It's instant
Right now.
gratification.
Man, I'm getting it right now.
But you really do. It's not so much about seniority or things like that. It's about actually practicing what it is you do, so you become excellent at it.
Like the magician we had heard just a while back.
Zane Grey. We'll give him some
We'll give him some
credibility.
plug. We'll give him a plug. Zane. It was so powerful because he says, I'm a magician, and people come up to you, how did you do that? Can you show me how you did that? And he's like, you know what? And I loved his statement. He says, you don't go to a concert and go up to the violinist and say, hey, could you show me a few notes so I can play that?
Yeah, I'll go home and play it for my kid afterwards. Yeah,
As a magician, it takes hours and months to learn some of that magic.
Yeah.
It's not an overnight thing.
It's not, and speaking is the same way.
Absolutely.
In order to be able to connect with people and to have a message, to be able to engage them, to be able to inspire them and lift them, to be able to entertain. That is not something you just do overnight.
It isn't.
So one of the things with paying your dues is learning the craft.
Yes.
Find ways to learn the craft. Obviously, we have a great way of learning the craft through the Message to Magic Blueprint and the Speakers University, and being part of our SpeakUp group. And networking with other speakers. So we have ways for you to be able to do that. But if
there's 1,000 different places to go. There's National Speakers Association. There's Toastmasters. There's a lot of groups out there that will assist you in speaking. We're really about the heart of speaking and your message and connecting with that, and I think that's what differentiates us, kind of, because it's not necessarily about the mechanics, but it's about your heart and how to get that heart message out to folks.
It is.
In a real way.
It is.
With a real connection to your audience.
It's finding your story.
Yes.
It's finding your real story and making an impact with that story. Whether you're a business person, whether you're a salesperson, whatever it is, it's finding the story and delivering that message in a way that has an impact. Now, for some people, it's going beyond that and making money with it. Mm-hmm. Others just want to be able to find the story. But whatever it is, we encourage you to find your real story, find somebody that can help you pull that real story out, how you can turn the story into magic is what we call it. The magic being able to transform it
into this impactful piece that people take in and learn from and grow from themselves.
Yeah. So all of a sudden, it's now attractive. It's now drawing people to it.
And when something is attractive, it has a monetary value.
It does. It does have value. Now, you may say, I don't want to be paid, but there will be people that will come to you and want to pay you
because of the value of your message.
Yeah. So you want to definitely get in and do that kind of stuff. So I really think it's great that we talk about paying your dues. Again, we don't know how long that is. We don't know how many times you have to speak. We don't know if it's years or months or whatever that case may be.
Yep.
But there is a process there.
Yeah, some people are more intuitive to certain things, and some people do have more of a ability to connect with others, and that's true. But if you do not have that innate ability does not mean you cannot be. I have seen over the years, I've known Feeks, I've connected with lots of entrepreneurs and people, and I've seen people who spoke in the past, and I'm like, oh my gosh, this is that person. I love that person to death, but they should not be a speaker. And then I've seen them a few years later, and they are powerful, amazing.
Yeah.
They honed it. They honed their craft. They didn't have an innate ability. They honed it and became this powerful, powerful speaker. Anybody can do that.
Yeah.
Anybody.
Yeah, it's a teachable and a learnable skill.
Yeah.
Now, there may be some, again, that have kind of a natural inclination towards it, but it really is a teachable and a learnable skill that you can do, and over a period of time, you're going to get better and better at it, and at some point, you're going to break out and become like, just a famous person,
Yeah, you're going to be Zig Ziglar. You're going to be the next Zig Ziglar.
I wish I had a famous quote from Zig. I can't remember some of his things that he used to always quote, but he had a few little zingers or zigglers or whatever that you could probably use. But
man, he has some good ones. We could probably look that up, and
should
have looked that up because he has so many really good ones.
But but we encourage you again to find a way to, if speaking is, or training or coaching or something like that, to communicate with people. Again, it could be salespeople, could be business, it could be a CEO of a company that has to communicate with all of their corporation. If you have a desire to learn to be better at that craft, because that is a craft.
It is.
In fact, we call it an art.
Yes.
And at SpeakUp, our little tagline underneath SpeakUp is Professional Speakers Studio. And studio is there because that's where artists go to work, and speaking is an art. And people who are speaking and training come to the studio to actually work and hone in their craft. So go out, find somebody,